be super comfortable, even though it's still intense on the body. It allows us to have a little bit more support and more play in some of the traditional yoga poses. And the more we let the spine hang, we're just draping it down, we're gonna traction the vertebrae and create space. So we're tractioning out of the pelvis by just letting our hips drop. Walk your feet forward a little bit more, Mark. Well, we're gonna take a break and press back whenever we need, like this, and shake out the hands. And that is normal until our body gets used to it. It's gonna be just a different way of hanging in the body. And then just after a couple seconds of taking a break, we come back in. So always just take a break. Instead of like pushing your hips forward, actually lean back. So try that as like a restorative or taking like an intermission in some of the poses. And then you can try keeping the legs wide, we call this star, or we just shift from side to side. You can keep the arms open. Just kind of feel what it's like to have a supported back bend. And then the neck might want support, so you can also clasp the hands underneath the head, flare the elbows out wide, and then just try shifting from side to side. You can bend one knee and then the other knee. I call it aerial yoga play because I want to give you lots of time to experience and explore the swing at your own pace and at your own rate, and just have a new experience in the body. So there will be lots of opportunity for play. We'll have little pauses and we'll have different poses where I'll just ask you to just be in your own authentic movement, and that's perfect. That looks great. Does that feel great to have the support of the back bend behind the heart, so it's opening up the upper thoracics? Yeah, so it's great. It's really nice to work with body people. It just kind of speeds things up a little. It's great. Yeah. Sorry, you're like, I'm in love right now. It's like that. I call it, you catch the fever for the flavor really fast. So we're going to test out our leg loops. Both hands, arms always stay wrapped around the swing. We're going to hug the swing because this is our anchor. If we ever go like this, we're going to lose our anchor. So we want to keep ourselves hanging. Both hands grab for a leg loop. We lift the leg and get that behind the knee. We're just going to test out the height of these. Yeah, perfect. So what I want to do is engage the arm, so I'm pulling down, and then I have the leg meet. The foot meet the leg loop. There you go, perfect. That looks great. And then we just want to sway it out from side to side a little. Doing good? Yeah. Awesome. Sweet. So we want to make sure that our knees are lower than our chest line. So I'm going to actually bring your leg loops down one. They're okay where they are, but they could be a little lower. I wouldn't bring them up any higher. So we're just going to come out nice and slow. Stay seated the whole time, so that we let the swing support us. You don't even have to get up. You can just adjust these ones. So I make the daisy chains to adjust both the swing and the leg loops up and down. We also have candy holds we'll play with today, which are really fun. So just bring them down a notch and we'll try it again. And it would be completely okay to have them a little lower or a little higher, depending on our preferences in the poses. A little bit lower is easier. There you go. And then we drop our hips completely. We get that same arching that's happening in the upper thoracics. And then we come back to the chilaxin arms. The chilaxin arms is when we clasp our hands together behind our head, flare out the elbows, and then just let the body sway from side to side. So whenever I get in the swing, this is the first pose I do. So just like its name implies, it's really a restorative pose. It's for every body, every type, every age. Just allows you to get that sensation of floating and flying. And then it starts to recalibrate the posture and open up the heart, allowing the upper body to release, and then the lower body can just relax. So we want to create space for the lower back, which usually gets crunched in the back bends. And we really want to feel like we're rolling over a bar. So our heart is rolling up towards the sky, and then our head is sinking back into our hands. Really good, guys. Sweet. So let's just kind of find neutral when we're ready. Just going to come back through center. We're going to open up our arms wide. So we're always going to reach forward towards me. When I say reach forward, so the swing is here, but the leg loops is what's going to stabilize some of the postures that we do. So reach forward for the leg loops. Reach up as high as you can. And let's just try some lunges and some hip openings, and it's going to be intense. So we're going to take it nice and slow. We're going to squeeze and exhale all our air out. This is like a floating child. And then when we inhale, we do a bicep curl and we start to open up the legs. You can do straight legs or bent knees. Straight legs, of course, is a little harder, right? And then we exhale and we round in. Just warming up the spine with undulations. Inhale, arch and open, pull your heart forward, bicep curl at the same time. Beautiful. Exhale, squeeze. So Mark, just remember, if you wear really short shorts like that, it might be a little intense on the skin and you can spread out the leg loops. Inhale, open. Beautiful. Exhale, squeeze. So we want it to be dynamic. We let it be strengthening, but we also can really relax into it. So if we just pull forward and relax, and we're doing more of the mellow, restorative flow. If we want to get a little bit more dynamic, exhale, squeeze. I'll show you how to do a little bit more strengthening. So we can use this swing in many different directions. Now, if we wanted to do more strengthening, we're going to press our arms away and point our toes away. This is called hummingbird. As you can tell, your arms might flutter a little. Beautiful. Really good job, Nancy. So you're like, you're built for this. So this is really hard for most people. And then we exhale, relax. Let's just come back through chillaxing. So let that integrate into the body. We're going to take these slight pauses in between poses, like I was saying. There'll be plenty of time to chill. And if you ever do feel like you need a break, this is a good one to come back to. You can also come into another version of the floating child. So through center, we just wrap our arms around the leg loops and tuck our forehead towards our hands, and we let all the energies become harnessed in the navel and the belly. So this is another way to pause and just have some downtime if you ever need. You know, the swaying motion is something you get used to. If you ever do get a little seasick or air sick, you can bring your feet down to the ground as well. So there are a couple different options if you need a break. Just thought I'd give you a rundown of those. And so I was talking to you about our anchors. So we always have at least one anchor and one hold. So this would be a hold, right? This is going to stabilize ourselves in some of the poses. And then we always make sure that we're wrapped. So all of the movements that I create are outside in. And that'll make sense as we move through some things, but I just like to start planting some seeds of always wrap outside in, right? So we're always hugging, and make sure you don't lose your anchor. Some of the poses, it will feel like, oh, I want to take my arm out, but you don't. You actually want to stay wrapped, okay? So from here, let's do a little half chillaxing flow, and then we'll come back down and move through some lunges and twists on the ground. We'll mix it up, we'll go back and forth. So we start out with the T arms. Inhale, T. There's the chest. Exhale, squeeze and come into child's. Relax, round in. Inhale, blossom. We're going to come through starfish. So long arms, long legs. Hips stay heavy, heart opens. Exhale, sink the hips back down and return to child's. Beautiful. Inhale, blossom, open, star. Very nice, guys. Exhale, squeeze and round in for child. So we're just undulating the spine, warming up the spaces between the vertebrae. Inhale, blossom. Exhale, squeeze. One last time, inhale, blossom, star. Now from starfish, just try squeezing your legs together. They stay straight. Squeeze your hands together, bend your elbows, so hook around the swing, and then you can press your hips up and lean back. This is reverse namaste. Hang out here for a few breaths. The more you press your hips up, the bigger the back bend and the stretch. So at the same time, I'm pressing the back of my knees down to press my hips up. And then the next inhalation, you come to sit. Exhale, just open the arms really good. So that's our half vinyasa flow. So while we're here, why don't we just try coming into our flying butterfly. It's really fun. We're going to bring our hands together in prayer. Now see if you can press your arms straight and push your leg loops away, like we warmed up our hips, and then keep coming forward, feet come back behind us. Bend the knees, I know. Press the hips forward, I know. Please, so this is skydiver, and then bring your bottoms of the feet together. Yep, knees open wide, bend your elbows, flying butterfly. Really good. This is obviously a more advanced pose. We start out with the warm-ups, and then we try like a little sampler of some of the more advanced poses. Okay, so we're going to inhale, pull our feet back down towards the ground, sink the hips back, exhale, let the swing catch you. It's okay to come into high diver. You just When you press back, you push these forward. It's totally fine. And then chillax it out, just for a couple breaths, really good. Now I like the natural breeze, but if you guys need me to turn on the air, just let me know. We're not necessarily doing Bikram aerial, but I kind of like it warm, but you can always tell me if you need an adjustment. Beautiful, so we're just getting used to the swing. We're starting to trust its swing, its swagger. We're getting comfortable with the angular momentum. We're letting our hips drop more. We're getting used to letting the heart open in a new way, and we're supporting the head here. So we pretty much cover the whole body in this very simple pose, opening up the side body. Okay, let's do a couple of floating lunges here, and then we'll come back down to the ground. Finding neutral. I know, isn't that fun? Just swing it out. So we're gonna reach forward for the leg loops. Okay, so we pull ourselves forward. This time we bend the right knee. We roll onto the top of the left. So just keep rolling, left hip down towards the ground, and then you can actually press the arm away if you want to go a little deeper. Good, floating lunge. And the more we drop our hips, the deeper the stretch, right? Yeah, there it is. So that rotation down towards the ground makes all the difference. Just thinking, I know, right? It's the stretch I've always been looking for. So it's amazing. You have to go so much deeper just using gravity, right? So I call it roundabout. So we come back through neutral, keep holding on to the leg loop, second side, left knee bends in, roll onto the top of the right. Beautiful. I press the arm away, and that gives a good shoulder stretch. So I'm moving towards the street here. So relax into it. The more you relax, the deeper the stretch. So you play with that dynamic strength of engaged but relaxed in all the poses. Beautiful. Round the belt. Let's come back to the first side one more time. Again, we're just taking it to different levels. So that was more the beginner level, right? So we can stay here. If you want to try going deeper, you're going to bend the back knee. So this is half dancing Shiva. If you want to do the full dancing Shiva, you grab the foot and pull it in. So just make sure you're ready for that big quad stretch. Beautiful. Really good job. It's kind of intense, but this is the full dancing Shiva pose. If you want to do a little hand mudra, if that's available, we can do that. And then we're going to release, do another little roundabout. Pause for a second in the center since that's a deep stretch, right? So make sure you shift the hips a little from side to side. Loosen anything up that might have gotten compressed in that process. Really good. And then when you're ready, find your leg loops. Get that hold first. Bend the left knee, roll into